Hey guys, it's Max. Today we're going to be taking a look at and comparing the brand new Rode Videomic Pro Plus with the previous Rode Videomic Pro and seeing if this new microphone is worth it. If you've been in the filmmaking industry for any period of time, you've most likely heard of the company Rode, especially their very popular video mics, like this Rode Videomic Pro. I've had this ever since I started getting into filmmaking, even as a hobby. It was one of my first purchases, and these things are everywhere. And chances are, if you're watching this video, if you have a camera and a few other pieces of gear like a tripod, you probably own one of these or one of their other versions. These are very popular because you can put it on top of your camera and get rid of some of that noise that you get from the lens and any internals and handling because of the suspension mount, and you can get cleaner audio because you're not picking up sounds that you're holding the camera, or you're not picking up the whole space all around you because these are kind of stereo microphones that are in here. You're getting a lot more of a directional sound and a nicer sound for voices, stuff like that. So I've used this thing like crazy. It still has held up. This is the version 1 of the Videomic Pro. It just has an older mount system than the version 2. Other than that, it's identical. And now this video is about the Pro Plus. So first thing, as you guys can see, this thing is much larger, significantly larger. I was quite surprised. And this is their latest version. It is a bit more expensive. I'm going to put all the links in the video description to this latest one and the previous 2 versions. So is this microphone worth it? We're going to take a look at different aspects, the features, and take a look at sound quality comparisons. And at the end, I'll make my conclusion. You guys can make your own. So what has changed? Well, there's been a couple pain points with this microphone, even though I loved it. And I think most people would agree. First off, the suspension system was updated. So that's better, but I still have the older version. I didn't think it was worth upgrading to the other version. Even though I do have to adjust it sometimes and replace the bands, it still works fine. The other pain point was forgetting to turn on the microphone. So it has a switch and a light back here, but a lot of people forget to turn it on. I've had it a few times and it has ruined some shots, unfortunately. Even worse than that probably, well, maybe not worse, but even more often that is forgetting to turn it off. So that has been addressed with the Rode Videomic Pro because it senses when you turn your camera on and when you turn your camera off and automatically shuts itself on or off. So that is great, no more messing up. Now, the other thing that was really a pain is the battery door. So that has been changed, and the battery. So this thing uses 9-volt batteries. And what's great about this new system, one, the door is much easier to open. You just press down, it pops open. And they actually include a lithium-ion battery that is rechargeable. So this included battery lasts for over 100 hours, so you're not going to have to charge it very often, especially because it's going to be shutting off by itself, saving you battery life. This thing is very easy to put in and close, so no more frustrations with the battery door. And when it's time to charge, you just plug in this guy into USB power, into a wall, into your computer, so very easy to do. And if for some reason this is dead, you can actually put in 2 AA batteries in here and run it like that, so no longer have to buy expensive 9-volt batteries. You can also plug in USB power and run it that way. As you guys can see, the cable is actually detachable and it actually has a locking mechanism on it as well. So if you want to plug in a long cable or something that connects to a smartphone, it's going to be very easy to do. And if you have a connection that can lock, you can lock it in as well to make sure it doesn't detach. So I'm very happy about this because if your cable got messed up in the past, you had to send the whole one in for repair. Now you can just unplug it, plug it in. The other benefit of this is if you have an A6500 where you don't need a very long cable, you can buy something that is shorter. Or if you have a camera where you're going to mount this further away, you can buy a longer cable. So it's a lot more flexible. Now let's get to the features of this microphone. As you guys can tell, we have a lot of lights on the back. A few of these features are from the last microphone and a few of them are new. On the left-hand side, we have our high-pass filter. In the past, you just had one option. Now you can choose from 75 or 150 Hertz. On the right-hand side, we have our boost to +20, or you can lower the decibels by -10, or just shut it off to get a normal 0 decibel setting. We also have a couple of brand new features that require you to press down 2 buttons at a time. So if you press down the 2 bottom buttons, this is a high frequency boost. So this is nice if you're gonna put on a Rode Dead Cat over this when you have a lot of wind noise outside. And what typically happens is if you're put one of those on, it kills some of those high frequencies. So you can boost that to get some of those back. Now if we press down the power button and the decibel button at the same time, we actually get a safety track. So this is a very exciting feature, probably one of the most exciting features, because if you're gonna boom this or you're recording somebody and you're not sure where to set it to, sometimes people are talking quietly like this and all of a sudden they start talking loud or there's a loud noise, you're gonna either just have to record everything too quiet and then once you boost up the audio, it's gonna be too noisy, or you're gonna lose some of that, your audio is gonna peak and it's gonna sound terrible. So what this does is takes the right channel and lowers it by -10 decibels. So if you're doing an interview, you can easily turn that on, and then if the person speaks too loud when you go to edit, you can grab from that safety track, cut that chunk out and just set everything to dual mono and then not have to worry about it peaking, and you can really save yourself. I think that is the most exciting thing about this microphone other than the auto on and off. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this microphone and compare it to my previous Rode Videomic Pro. This is an outside quality comparison between the Rode Videomic Pro and the Rode Videomic Pro PLUS. This is an outside quality comparison between the Rode Videomic Pro and the Rode Videomic Pro PLUS. This is an outside quality comparison between the Rode Videomic Pro and the Rode Videomic Pro PLUS. This is an outside quality comparison between the Rode Videomic Pro and the Rode Videomic Pro PLUS. This is an indoor audio quality comparison between the Rode Videomic Pro and the Rode Videomic Pro PLUS. This is an indoor audio quality comparison between the Rode Videomic Pro and the Rode Videomic Pro PLUS. This is an example of booming the Rode Videomic Pro. This is an example of booming the Rode Videomic Pro PLUS. This is an example of booming the Rode Videomic Pro. This is an example of booming the Rode Videomic Pro PLUS. Let me know what you guys think about the sound differences in that comment section below. I'm definitely curious to hear your guys' opinions. Now there is a feature I wish they would have added and a couple things I wish they would have done differently that would have made this microphone much better overall, at least for me. So I wish they would have added a +10 decibel boost function. Now we have a -10, a 0, and a +20, just like on the previous video mic. But some of these cameras, like the GH5, can only go down to -12 decibels. And because of that, there is almost no situation where you can use the +20. And there are situations where you could use +10 and then lower the camera down and get a cleaner sound. But because the preamps can't be adjusted enough, you can never use that +20, and that is unfortunate. The GH4 is similar. The Sony, I can use a +20, and if I turn it down all the way to setting 1, but that is only in situations that aren't very loud. The preamps are very nice on the Sony anyways, and fairly nice on the GH5, but there are microphones out there that do have a +10 setting, and I feel that that is very helpful in certain situations and with some cameras. Now, what I wish they would have done differently, as you guys can see, the microphone is very large, much larger than the previous version of the Videomic Pro. I thought the size would be an issue, but it's really not an issue. It's not much heavier than the last version, but what is an issue is how far back this microphone sits when you mount it on top of your camera. And on top of that, the jack being right here on the back pushes that even further. So the previous version didn't have any issues with blocking the viewfinder, even on small cameras like the A6300 or A6500. It finished off right where the actual cold shoe mount is, so it never really got in the way. Now, comparing it with this camera right here, it's actually a little bit worse on the GH5 than it is on the A63 or A6500, but with both cameras, it's bad. You actually can't get your eye up to the viewfinder. As you see, I'm just hitting this jack right here, and no matter which way I twist this, I can't get my eye on there. I'm just really crashing into it. I mean, I can twist sideways, but who's gonna use it like that? So if there was a way in this base that they would have tapped it and allowed it to move forward and backwards, that really would have helped. Or if this jack was on the side next to the micro USB, that would have helped as well. I mean, this doesn't get rid of it completely. You're still touching it, but it's much better. I really wish they would have thought that through. I think it would have been a fairly easy fix, and I have seen other much less expensive microphones have the option to mount your little cold shoe attachment in 3 different places so you can adjust that. So is the Rode Videomic Pro Plus worth it? Well, if you're somebody who already has one of these, or 2 or 3 or 4, I know a lot of you guys have one for each one of your cameras, and you don't forget to turn your microphone on or off, and you don't need that safety track, then obviously it's not worth upgrading. The sound quality is really good, and you don't really need those extra features, so you don't need to sell it or upgrade or add another one to your arsenal. Now, of course, if you can make use of those extra functions of this system, if you want to have that negative 10 decibel safety track, which I think is awesome, or the auto on and off function, then I definitely would say upgrade. I actually forgot to shut this one off. So I never shut these guys off, and I go through a ton of batteries. So in that case, yes, it's worth buying one, just like I bought one. Or if you're looking to buy one of these and you don't have either one, I definitely think it's worth the little bit of extra money that this one costs, as long as you're not gonna have an issue with that viewfinder. And of course, there are solutions to that. I'll have a link to a little bar that you can add on here to the cold shoe so you can slide this guy forward. So it's an extra step. It's not very expensive, but you can fix that. So overall, I think this guy is great for the money, the sound quality performance, and the extra features they added, and not having to worry about the battery and having so much choices to power the microphone. It just makes it even more versatile. You can boom it up like you guys saw. You can keep it on the camera. If you're doing interviews, that safety track is amazing. So I'm happy with what Rode did. Personally though, I would really like to see a microphone that is this design and this size, and it doesn't have to have all those extra features. Keep it the same price as this guy, maybe discontinue this one, and just add that auto on and off function. That would be great just for me to use that personally, because I do forget to turn it on, and a lot more often to shut it off. And I think that would be a great option as well. So if you guys have any questions, ask in that comment section below. If you guys want to see more videos like this one, hit that subscribe button and enable those notifications. Once again, I'm going to have a link to all of these microphones in the description and in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.